Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's defense versus LSU, but perhaps we don't want to, as Florida gives up an historic amount of yards, and a plethora of other history was made in the wrong way. 701 yards for LSU, 52 points, and a general beatdown of one unit versus another. As always, we'll take a look at what made the LSU offense so successful in this game and what made Florida's defense so unsuccessful. As always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, like this video, follow us on social media, check out our podcast where each and every Monday we bring you in-depth analysis on the Gators, and support our efforts to bring you more of this type of content throughout the year by dropping us a dono on Patreon. All of those links are in the description. All right, first, a few numbers before we get into the film. Coming into the game, we were hoping that Florida was going to run cover 2 man at least as much as possible, given that was one potential chink in LSU's armor, and that if they brought pressure, they were going to bring pressure with 6 or 7, because LSU had been shredding virtually all types of defense and all pressures, with the exception of 6 or 7 man pressures and cover 2 man. Florida, however, elect to play just 2 snaps of cover 2 man in this game, and they brought 3 total pressures of 6 or 7 man. They brought 12 5-man pressures where they got torched for a 75% completion percentage and a 156 passer rating. They played 70% of their snaps in man. However, again, all but 2 of those snaps were not in cover 2. 81% completion rate with a passer rating of 105. So Florida obviously really paid the price here versus LSU. A lot of teams have. Florida paid a steeper price. As we go through this game, Florida had moments like they do each game where they're actually playing quite well, and a lot of other moments where they certainly are not. Let's start off with the first play of the game, which is going to be a good one for Florida. Malik Neighbors here, the excellent receiver for LSU, is going to run a dig. Then we're going to go with a go route and a skinny post route. And Florida's going to cover this play perfectly in man. We're going to bring down the freshman, Bryce Thornton, here to come help out. So it's not going to be too high. He's actually going to drop down here and try to help rob a route. So it winds up not being that way. Florida running split safety, which we've talked about before, means essentially they can play this half of the field differently from this half of the field. They can have 2 different types of coverage. You could theoretically play zone up here and man down here. But on this play, Florida is playing man. They're going to treat him as a free defender coming downhill to rob. And Florida is going to cover all of these routes really well right here. Florida's going to lock this up. You're not going to see it on your film. LSU especially offers very tight camera angles when the TV covers it, which is unfortunate. I mean, you can see nothing. Like, we cannot see anything. We have no idea what's happening on the back end. But on the back end, Florida has got them locked up across the board. The go and the skinny post are locked. We've covered the running back here with Scooby. Nunnery, nice job there on the tight end. Pocket here, collapse. This, not so great. You don't want that pancake there. That's not the best look you're going to put on film. But great coverage there by Kimber. And a good start from Florida. 1st and 10, good start out of the gate. One good play. Of course, one good play of a few good plays and many bad plays, as we will see. 2nd and 10, Florida going to play man again here on the snap and then bring a safety down into the run fit. Going to bring a safety down right here into the run fit. This is going to be an excellent play call. Aggressive play call, banking on LSU to run. We're going to fit here, come down unblocked. Nice job setting the edge right there. He tries to bounce it, but he knows he's got a safety waiting for him. And we're bottling LSU up on the line of scrimmage, playing with some juice here early. 2 plays, 2 quality results. Florida's freshmen are getting up to 30% of the snaps thus far on the season, and you've got a freshman safety here, freshman D lineman here, and then 1 here as well. So there's 4. And they are in, you will notice, in between the hash marks there in the middle of the field, which is not really where you want to play freshmen. Ideally, you'd play a freshman at a corner if you had to. The further you are away from the ball, the easier it is to play the position, generally speaking. Florida having to play a lot of freshmen right in the middle of the field, which certainly has been contributing to their issues. Also playing without Shamar James leaves them deficient at linebacker. But hey, 2 good plays so far. 3rd down and 9. Florida's showing simulated pressure in here. How many are we going to bring? Hopefully 6, right? Hopefully we're going to bring 6. Let's bring them all. Let's light them up. And instead, we're going to elect to bring 5. We're going to drop Princely here. He's going to get wasted. No one's there. You can't know. But we do have a perfectly fine call on. And we've seen Florida do this before with the past two defensive coordinators. This is a different style of zone defense, but essentially this is the execution of zone defense is lacking. It's a true freshman here who's going to have the mistake. This is Castell. He's going to come back, and his zone, of course, is to make sure that he's denying a first down ball. He needs to open up and he needs to see what is coming into his territory, which he's going to do off screen. He's watching the quarterback, and then he needs to go cover someone. Again, he is a true freshman, but this is who he needs to cover. On your screen right here, you have the excellent Jaden Hill, who is walling anything off to the outside, and we should be seeing Castell on our screen right here, but we don't, walling off Neighbors on the top side. So if this ball goes here, we're making a tackle and we are bracketed. Instead, you have Castell being way too soft. Here he is. This is the first down line. If you cannot tackle him right now and get a stop, this is your fault. You are not executing this correctly. Not a great play by him. And then as we've seen him do all season long on film, he's going to miss a tackle. And now we're off to the races. And now a play that would have been a 9-yard gain, but really should have been a stop for Florida. That should have been a stop. They're bracketing Neighbors. They have him shut down. They're forcing Daniels to roll. They have pressure on him. Turns into a chunk yardage play, which we've seen plague this defense all along. Now, I'm not trying to ride Castell here. The point of film review is to show what is wrong, and then hopefully you fix that, right? That's the goal. And for Castell, like we talked about on previous reviews, he's not going to fix his tackling before this season is over, but he needs to fix it in the offseason. Also, attention to detail on film, you got to know where the first down sticks are, and you have to know what your job is, right? He is not the one that's playing anything deep over top here. You cannot fade past the sticks here. You just cannot do it. He has to be watching this, open up with the quarterback, watch the route. As soon as Neighbors breaks right here, he's got to be close enough to be able to deny this. He is not. So the scheme is good, execution is bad, tackling really bad, huge play given up on 3rd down and 9. Next play, 1st down and 10. Florida going to play zone on this play. Zone is beneficial versus a running quarterback because it allows you to have your defenders with eyes in the backfield, right? We can take a look at what's going on, which means if the quarterback escapes, we're there. Right here, 2 guys, 1 gap. Not what you want when you're rushing the passer. Chris McClellan, who's getting double teamed, gets pushed out of his gap. Of course, that is going to happen sometimes, but that's going to leave an escape route for Jaden Daniels. In a perfect world, you have a guy here, guy here, guy here, guy here. You make these gaps small so you can get off of your block. If he tries to escape through, he's going to get off his block. McClellan, again, doubled, not going to get off his block. But again, no real problem here because you have an unblocked man, no blocker coming in front of him, linebacker coming downhill who's going to engage the quarterback somewhere around here for perhaps a 1 or 2 yard gain. And here it is, except Scooby is going to take a poor angle. Notice how he's waving his arm. Whenever you see unbalanced arm waving, you know that a guy has not gotten a good launch, right? This is a bad launch. Unbalanced arm waving, you're trying to recover to get on plane, and now we can see it already. We are going to be shallow of our target, and we missed that tackle. So Florida covers up the routes that LSU is running on a 1st down and 10 play action. They're getting pressure here in the backfield. He's escaping out early. His head is not downfield to pass anymore. All we have to do here is come downhill, cut off this angle to the outside. Why? Because you always have help to the inside. Instead, we go inside shoulder rather than outside shoulder. When you're coming downhill as a linebacker, you want to make sure that you are walling off the outside shoulder, make him come back to the inside. Nope, not going to happen. Missed the tackle. Easy 1st down. So that should have been a 1 or 2 yard gain. The previous play should have been a stop with proper execution. 2 plays there, poor execution. Florida's tackling has really plagued them in general. A lot of teams practice tackling a lot less than they used to. It's not just a Florida problem, but Florida's defense really having issues with it. Again, the center of Florida's defense extremely weak with the play of the linebackers and the safety when it comes to run fit and tackling. It's been a major problem for this team. It's been even worse since Shamar went out. 1st and 10, Malik Neighbors here. If you're on defense, you should be prepared potentially, of course, for something that's going to come out this backside. And then Sapp, little step from the tight end in here to fake this block, trying to get Sapp to just take 1 step to the inside, knowing he's not as fast as Neighbors. Then come and engage a block here. This works perfectly. There's Sapp avoiding it, stepping just a bit to the inside. And now he has a chance. He's here. He got downhill quickly to get to him right there. Oh, slows him up. But now we have an unblocked man here. Castell, true freshman, unblocked man. Jaden Hill is blocked. Castell needs to make a play here. Ideally, he's going to come right through here. Jaden Hill's working to get to the outside as he should. He's going to come right through here and slow this down. Slow him down. Instead, we're going to kind of hold on the inside, which again, if you're watching this thing, well, wait a minute, he could just come in right here. He could cut in right here. Exactly. That's why you want to take this away. Jaden Hill's going to work to the outside. You're going to work to the inside. He's got to stretch this here. Castell cannot just go here because now he's going to get engaged and he's got a huge hole, right? So this is a read play. He's got to come down in here, trust Jaden to get to the outside of this, as you can see Jaden working to do, and then make a play to slow this up. And instead, Castell comes downhill, stops right here. He stops, waits to see what's happening, tries to restart. Now we have two guys hugging each other. That's not what you want. When you voluntarily block yourself, not a good look. Now Jaden tries to do the right thing. Jaden's doing what Castell should be doing right here. Disengage the block, get the heck up here, because he already knows he's beat. Instead, Castell's still coming down here like he's going to get him. Not going to get him. No way you're going to get him. And then eventually tackles him, way down here for a huge play on a simple jet sweep toss, essentially. And so that little inside toss winds up being a humongous play again for LSU. Simple play, big yards. If Florida wants to play split safety, they've got to find a way to have their safeties tackle. And obviously with true freshmen, it's just going to be an uphill battle, especially versus a team like LSU that can threaten Florida on all levels. Second and goal now for LSU. A major problem for Florida is just the eye discipline and ability to read plays from their linebackers in general. Example here is Scooby. Watch where Scooby goes on this particular play. Run is coming here. Here's where it wants to go. Here's Scooby right here. Just keep an eye on Scooby now. That's him. Right here, Scooby. He's in the end zone. Look at Scooby. Where is he? I have no actual idea, right? Now later you're going to see a better example of what you should do, but for Scooby here, you're reading which gap he's going into, and he just loses him entirely. Completely the wrong way. No one's there to fill. Someone's got to fill. No one's there to fill. And a touchdown. It's a tough job to stop somebody in the goal line. We're going to see a goal line stop later, but on that particular play, it doesn't work because nobody fills that in that situation, leading to an easy touchdown for LSU. All right, let's pick up the pace and start going through these plays a bit quicker. 1st and 10, LSU's going to make a pass here. Again, you got Scooby right here. Florida's going to play zone. And your job in zone is not to let people catch the ball when they enter your zone. Scooby, open up. Read who's coming inside. He's got one receiver coming inside. Deny him crossing over your side here. And engage. So look, it's time to engage him. He's slowing down. Time to get him. Time to get him. Let's make a play. Instead, we're going to stop. Look at Scooby. We're going to stop. And now we're going. Well, what are we going now for? Let's go get him. Right? Here he comes. He's slowing down. He's opening up. Get him. Collapse. Crash. Go. Ball's thrown there. We're late. Comes a tackle. He's able to turn all the way upfield. Pick up 9 yards on a very simple play. So Florida's zone concept is right there. But time to recognize the play is slow. Time to close is slow. Offering a window. And an easy 9-yard pickup. 2nd and 1 now. True freshman here, Thornton. Jason Marshall up here. They're going to get this confused. Nice route concept. A classic one here again. If you're going to run a tighter split like this, you want to get, obviously we've taught this before a lot on this channel, in the wake of the other one. And notice how he's going to get right behind him here and then make a move here, which is going to result in a natural screening action. It works even better when both Thornton and Marshall run with that play. There they go off your screen, right? Pretty simple combo, easy for the quarterback to read. Right now, he's just waiting to see if Thornton comes across, if Marshall comes here, and then he's going to have his choice. Who is going where? Are they east-westing this? Are they north-southing this? Are they manning this? What's happening? Well, when nothing happens, and notice the time that takes Jaden Daniels to make this throw. He doesn't wait any longer. As soon as he sees them both bail, he's going to stick this ball right here. Good execution by him. And now we're going to get some yards after the catch. There's a missed tackle again. Bryce or Marshall, one of them gets it wrong. I can't tell you who. Probably Bryce in this case. Either way, we get it wrong. We make a tackle, but another just taking candy from a baby first down. 2nd and 4 here. Florida's going to cover everyone else pretty well, but Kimber's going to be dropping pretty quickly and heavily into a cover 3 look on this side of the field, essentially just dropping out of the play. You're going to get a well-timed stop route here. We've talked about this before in Florida's offense, these concepts of if you can catch teams that are bailing in zone. Here's the read window. He's reading here, and he's going to read to the outside here. We're doubling this. We're going to bracket this right there. He sees that right there, IDs it. You can see his eyes IDs it. It's the back foot in the ground, then comes to the read he knows he has, which is this easy little comeback where, again, Kimber was working backwards. LSU gets into his feet, and once he stabs and realizes he's still going backwards, he just simply hits the brakes, turns this way, ball thrown on time. Goes for an easy first down completion on Kimber. That particular play is not necessarily an execution issue on Kimber. That is LSU catching Florida in a favorable look for the play call that they had and running the right route against it. 1st and 10, Florida with an excellent play call here and not going to execute. Again, for Florida's defense, you can ask, certainly it's fair to raise the question, are these play calls good? And if they are good, why aren't they working? And if they're not working, should we keep using them? Well, what do you want to do is the next question I would come back with. As we move along in this game, I think it's evident that Florida might want to consider the just what I like to call punt defense, where you play a lot of quarters coverage or cover 4, keep everything in front of you and just bend but do not break. So punt playing defense in between the 20s, get teams in the red zone and try to hold them to field goals. Because although Florida, again, optimal look here from Florida. This is an optimal look. It's everything you want. You should have a stop for nothing. When you miss this many tackles and your freshman safety just are incapable of coming downhill into run fit, which Florida is going to continue to ask them to do with the split safety style of defense they run, which again, I think has an extremely high ceiling. Just take a look at Georgia's defense to see what this looks like. But if you're doing this stuff right here, in the hole, he's in the hole, we're good, we're fine. One-on-one, in the hole, just slow him down. Do anything. I mean, just absolutely shook. He's gone. He's seen a ghost. He's grabbing at air. He's not going to touch him. He's not even close touching him. I'm not picking on him. He was playing high school football last year, right? He's thinking, I did not see dudes doing that stuff in high school. And he didn't. Probably didn't. Not for the most part, right? Not like this. And now we're off to the races, and here's another, set of tacklers for Florida. We got Castell, we got Kimber here, open field, and he just kind of goes down because he sadly takes an injury. Unfortunate for him. After a big gain, Florida now in another 1st and goal situation. After 3 solid stops by Florida's defense, is now 4th and goal. LSU is going to go for it, and another excellent stop is going to happen right here. Number 95, Jabari Lyons, is going to win his battle. We're going to get a nice crash right here from Wingo. We're going to blow up. Look at that right there. Lyman there. Then we're going to get a nice fill in here by Kelby Collins, who's going to shed his man. Here he is. Going to shed his block and then get head up in the hole right here. That's him right here. He's basically the stopgap holding up one-on-one. Then you can see 95 coming in right here, getting an arm on him at the bottom. And that is going to equal a stop. There's a true freshman making a play right there. A lot of Florida's defensive line in the sequence of 4 plays were able to do the same kind of thing, win their one-on-one matchup, step into a gap, negate the ability of LSU to have momentum when they hit the hole. And Florida here gets an excellent stop on 4th down in a game at 7-7. Perhaps that would have changed things and given Florida some momentum for a moment. That seemingly would be true. In fact, for the rest of the first half, Florida's largely going to play okay defense. In fact, in some cases, pretty good defense like they did right here. So LSU does not score anything from this drive, keeping Florida in the game. Florida, after a turnover now, facing 2nd and 5. Here's the chronicles of Jason Marshall, the highs and lows. Puts really good stuff on film, puts some really subpar stuff on film. This is going to be really good, facing Malik Neighbors. Right here, LSU's excellent receiver. Certainly going to be playing in the league on Sundays. Makes a move to the outside. Nice job here by Marshall to maintain inside leverage. Use the sideline as your defender here. Get an arm on him as he goes up to slow him down. Good job. Turn with him. And now basically we are even. Down the field we go. Get your head around. Get your head around. The perfect way here is if Marshall had flipped his head right about here. He can make a play on the ball instead. His head's never going to get around. Only thing he does wrong there. But he makes this window extremely small. Of course, for Neighbors, who still has a shot at this ball and actually just misses it. Again, Marshall trying to get his hands in there late. So perfect for Marshall is once he's rotating around, snap your head around, right? When you see the eyes of the wide receiver sort of get big, snap your head around, make a play. Either way, very tight window here. Way to use the sideline and good stuff, bringing up 3rd down and 5. 3rd and 5, Miguel Mitchell in the game now at safety, down in the box in here. Florida going to bring 6 on this play in pressure. 6 on this play in pressure. Here it comes. 6, drop out Wingo underneath in case they try to run something short here. Keep Marshall up top. We're going to send right here Miguel Mitchell to the inside to wall this off vertically from the inside. So if they run a post route, he's underneath it with a safety that you cannot see on the screen over the top in Castell. Florida's concept here works perfectly. No one is open for LSU. And then look at Jaden Hill. Again, a guy who's putting such good stuff on film. One-on-one versus the tight end. Spin move. I mean, come on, Jaden. Spin move, quick release, chasing down a very fast Jaden Daniels, and one-on-one makes that tackle. That is a great tackle. That is a phenomenal play. This is highlight-worthy stuff on film from a guy who consistently is putting awesome stuff on film. Of course, if all 11 guys are putting that kind of stuff on film, Florida's defense would be excellent. But a nice play call there that is well executed, and a sensational play by Hill leads to a 3rd down stop. 4th and 6, LSU at a part of the field where going for it makes sense for their offense, especially versus Florida's defense. Florida going to drop into his zone, simulated pressure, drop into his zone. Really nice job here by Searcy. Again, a freshman. This is really good stuff. Going to run. He knows his drop zone is in here. He's got to get there quick. He wants to read the eyes of the quarterback who is reading this bubble. Get in and get underneath it, which he is going to do. Notice how he checks Jaden, checks the receiver. Make sure you're in the lane. Checks Jaden again. Make sure you're getting yourself in the lane, which he totally does. He is completely in the lane. That play is dead. Really nice job dropping by him. We get pressure right here from Wingo. Pressure again from another freshman in Kelby Collins, who's won his battle. And now we're in business. Jaden Daniel wants to escape. He's not going to get tackled here. A really nice job by Jason Marshall. This is important against a guy like Jaden Daniels. You don't want to just come flying in here and engage this lineman. You're a corner. You don't have that kind of power. Instead, use your quickness on 4th down and 6. You know you don't care if he gains 5 yards or 5.5 yards. Just stop him. Hold up. Hit the brakes right here. Jaden Daniels breaks out of that tackle. And now, had he been underneath here, we're out here running at these guys, right? Instead, you're going to slow him down even more. Fill this gap by recovering backwards right here. Now he's got to come back out here, and that gives time for Florida to get back into it. Here comes Wingo making the tackle and a sack. Excellent job by Florida's defense. Obviously, a lot of what Coach Ham does, in my opinion, is really high-level, solid scheme football. When it's executed correctly, it looks like this. When it's executed poorly because guys miss tackles, can't get off blocks, read the wrong hole, don't fit right, it looks like what you're going to see here in the future. But it doesn't mean the execution itself isn't actually, the play itself isn't actually sound, because oftentimes, again, the scheme is very sound. But how Florida is executing it is just not working as it worked here. If it did, the results obviously would be much better. This play features an excellent slant wheel combo from LSU. We've covered this in depth on Florida's offense before with exactly how it should be run, and LSU runs this to perfection. Slant right here, wheel right behind it, and the spacing is what we always talk about. It's not the quality of your slant or your route. Right here, we know the goal is simply to get in the way of this defender who, if they are in man, has to get across with this, and Florida is in man. And notice how he takes his line right into him. He's climbing up higher to get rid of him. And now we're good, right? Scooby actually runs into him. Jason Marshall's over here. This tight end is going to be wide open. Scooby can avoid this by reading this play better. As soon as he sees him begin to come out here, he needs to get some depth, right? He has to protect against this kind of play. He does not have help. Notice how inside the safety is. He needs to get back and clear. He does not clear. And now we are in trouble. Our levels were not right between Marshall and Scooby. Right into each other, and this is going to be a big, big play. A wide open layup ball here for Daniels, and he misses. So Florida dodges a bullet. LSU obviously trying to take advantage of Florida's issues at linebacker, right? A struggle with your linebackers, and a well executed slant wheel concept by Neighbors, who even when he's not the intended recipient of the football is putting really good stuff on film. 2nd and 10 now. Florida going to bring a 5-man pressure. They're also going to stunt up front. Florida does this a lot. It's high risk, high reward. It's also slower. If we allow, perhaps, Lions to just work in here, allow them all to work in here as quick as possible. Quickest path to the quarterback, of course, is a straight line. Plus you bring one, which, of course, Florida does blitz like this. You might get there faster, but Florida's hoping to confuse the blocking scheme, the zone blocking scheme of LSU, by switching some gap responsibilities and getting a double, perhaps double A gap, double B gap pressure here. Florida's not going to get there in time. As you can see, starts to come through here, but this is taking too long. Daniels has enough time, no hands in his face here, to throw an absolute dime on 2nd and 10 on the slot fade. I mean, this is as perfect as you can throw a football right there from Jaden Daniels. It does not get any better than that. That's on my guy, Jaden Hill, who puts great stuff on film. Look, sometimes you're just going to get beat. That's okay. That's how you want to get beat, right? You want it to be like this. LSU, of course, always with uber talented receivers that can beat you one-on-one. Florida, if you bring a pressure there, you would like to get him off his spot. We don't get Daniels off the spot, and that goes for a big completion. Up until this point, Florida's done a pretty good job bottling up Jaden Daniels running. We're in the second quarter now, and this play is not going to be an example of that. Florida playing a freshman here in Cameron James. Freshman there in Cameron James. Jason Marshall is going to get cooked on a dig route from Neighbors. Florida's bracketing LSU's other excellent receiver up top here. That's where he wants to go. That's actually taken away. So good play call at the start here by Coach Ham. He reads this play correctly, and Florida's on it. You can see checks there. Nothing is there. And now Cameron James, this is very important, is going to do something that's nice. For a freshman, you want to see this, right? He's working against the right tackle. Watch the strength of Cameron James here. He's going to throw him off and get a rush lane. And he causes Jaden Daniels to move up. The only problem is with a really elusive quarterback like this, you do not ever want to take this high outside angle where he can step up into a large gap any one of these ways. You need to actually just work here to the inside and, in fact, still be able to hold. So if he wants to roll out here, you can pursue, right? This is a cat and mouse game. It's all about timing when you make your move to get to him. It's why he puts a lot of pressure on defenses as a quarterback, because he can do this. And right here, as soon as he sees, okay, he's coming up the edge, I know I've got space to escape now, he's going to take it, launches himself into it. Now McCullen tries to recover here where there's a big gap, right? Now he tries to get off his block, which he does. No chance he's going to outrun Jaden Daniels. Here's Scooby down here, who's got a man he's covering. He peeks and sees Jaden Daniels. Now he has to decide, do I come downhill and stop this, or do I stay with who I'm covering? He elects to stay with who he's covering. Now we turn all the way around. We lose control of where he is. We make a complete turn all the way around, only to relocate him here. We got to make a tackle now. No big deal. Let's make a tackle. Let's limit the damage. We don't get there. We don't even touch him. We're the guy that's closest to the play, and we don't set ourselves up even to touch him. And then here comes Nunnery. Nunnery just stops. Like, kind of comes in right here and is getting close. He's like, I'm cool. I'm pretty close. All right, it's a blocker here. I'm going to stop. There's Station Marshall coming in over here. And he is, doing what he's doing. Recovering, jogging, slowing himself down towards the end. And there's Castell looking at him like, me mug, you know how hard I hit. Don't let me hit you. Just kidding. And Daniel steps out of bounds saying, I'm a QB. I don't need that smoke. I'm just cutting you up. Huge run from Daniel. So Florida executes the play. They stop the first read and the second read. The third read was open, but Daniels doesn't go there. He chooses to run, and he picks up exactly what he wants. A huge gain after the first two reads were stopped. For Florida to be successful versus a superior LSU team, they were going to have to get stops in the red zone. 2nd down and 10. Manny Nunnery right here is going to do a nice job of getting skinny through the B gap right here. He gets skinny. LSU sort of whiffs on several blocks, kind of take each other out, but he gets skinny through here, hits the mesh point right here of the read, and is able to basically, right, he's got a left arm here and a right arm out here. This is an awesome play by Manny Nunnery. I mean, great stuff on film right here by you, Manny. Celebrate this one. You can't play that any better. And he gets himself a tackle for a loss and a sack. I mean, that's really, really nice stuff. One more time here from Nunnery. Now what's happening. Through the gap, skinny, through the gap, left arm on the running back, right arm on the quarterback. Jaden Daniels goes down. Really, really good stuff, bringing up 3rd and long. 3rd and 13, freshman Jakeem Jackson now manned up on LSU's other excellent receiver, number 11, Brian Thomas Jr. Man-to-man. Florida going to play man, going to bring pressure on 3rd and 13, going to trust their boys to make a stop, and this is why Jakeem Jackson is how he thought of. He can put stuff like this on film. Watch how he covers this slant route. Jabs to the outside. He's trying to create a window for him to get inside here and then hopefully get vertical. But look at the quick feet of Jakeem. He is beat right here on this move, right? He's stepping far to the outside. Really quick land on his right foot. We've showed this before on film review this season. Launch off into a direction where now he's still on top of this route. By the time the ball gets there, he's going to be in prime position to wrap up 10 out of 10 from Jakeem Jackson right here. I mean, that is absolutely NFL quality. Tackle him, drive him backwards. That is an NFL quality corner play one-on-one as a freshman. That is sensational stuff on that route by Jakeem. All right, Florida's offense, after scoring on the first drive, not scoring, but the game is 10-7, and now we're in the middle of second quarter, kind of settling in. Things feel pretty good for Florida's defense. They've executed quite well despite giving up some yards, finding themselves getting stops in the red zone. And now on this play, we get a little motion from the tight end over to this side to set up what LSU wants, which is a chance, of course, to run a zone read to this side where they have a freshman in Jakeem Jackson, a freshman safety coming down in Bryce Thornton, and then a freshman safety over here in Castell. So they're basically running a play at 3 freshmen. The reason we're not setting the edge right away right here as far as being on the outside, even though Princely is there, is Princely knows he's free to come down hard on the running back because we have a safety in run fit here, and we are doing an exchange, and here we go. Unfortunately, notice his positioning already. As he comes down in run fit on this zone read, 1, he's a little late. 2, what are we doing way in here? You're responsible for setting the edge of the defense. You cannot set the edge if you are inside this shoulder. Got to be on the outside shoulder. Got to be on the outside shoulder. And now we're way inside. Again, he's a freshman. This is not high school football. Most quarterbacks that you play against aren't able of doing this. And now we're sort of taking a kind of joggy recovery rather than I am beat. I need to get an angle and get out here. And now, unfortunately, up top, Jakeem Jackson needs to work his butt off to get to the outside of this block. Do not get turned to the inside. He's also a freshman. He's fighting for that, and he is going to get turned completely around. That is a win for LSU. That's great blocking. And now, when 2 become 1, oh, that's not good. That is not good, right? You don't want to be truck sticking your own player like this. There's Coach Ham. He's looking and pointing. Oh, no, this is not good. My guy in run fit who's supposed to be the outside is not here. Now I've got a 2-for-1 right here, and that is, of course, Neighbors. Again, in all phases of the game, you are seeing him show up on film review. That's what good receivers do. They don't just catch passes. That is an A+ by him. Jordan Daniels off to the races. Castell, who was off your screen, got a slow start, misread the play, took a shallow angle, didn't run really hard right away, and now we're trying to catch up to a guy who's faster than you, and you're not going to catch him. Not going to happen. Not going to happen, right? So a play that really should have gone for nothing. In the perfect world, we're coming right down here and run fit. We're on the outside shoulder. We get a tackle for a loss, or we get a no gainer, or we get a 2-yard gain, right? Castell sees and reads correctly when this ball is handed off because he's not in run fit. He reads correctly, the ball's not handed off, and starts stepping this way. Instead, he keeps stepping this way and takes a while to recover to this lane. Jakeem Jackson needs to stay on the outside. Doesn't do it. Need a better angle here. Now, Florida is certainly not teaching these guys to do this. We know that because we watched Jaden Hill on basically every play do the right thing by turning to the outside, right? We've seen Devin Moore do similar stuff. So it is hard, though. I'm not harping on these freshmen. It's not an excuse. It's a reality. The step up from high school football to college football to playing one of the best offenses in college football, second in success rate, first in passing plays, first in running plays, extremely high level of execution on the road is hard. But when you do basic things like take a wrong angle right out of the gate, you are going to make things really, really hard on yourselves. And Florida, again, here gives up a just cookie jar, piece of cake touchdown. And you can't do that in the SEC versus top-level teams that ever expect to win. You just can't do it. 1st and 10, take a look at Kelby Collins on this play. Again, true freshman. Working against the right tackle. Just watch the magic. Bam. Now he's working against the right guard, right? They're swapping off here. We're trying to work to the outside. Going up against the right guard. He's in his gap. He's driving through his gap right there. Contact. Driving him back. Hands on him. Winning the momentum battle. Clearing space. Now he's going to launch off into the hole. Hard engagement. Look how hard he brings the right arm in. Hard engagement right here. Hand on the ball. Slow down the momentum. Scooby reading the play correctly as well. gets in on a stop. And that is what good run defense and good run fit looks like, right? Blow it up right here with penetration. Don't let them get to where they want the play to be run. That's all Kelby's doing right here. Play's never going to get out here now because we win with penetration. And then also aggressive point of attack. Scooby sliding correctly into the right fit. And that is what good run defense should be like. 3rd and 9. On this play, Coach Ham's going to give me everything I wanted and hoped Florida would have done more of. And especially after watching this play live, I thought, okay, this is great. We're going to do a lot more of this in this game. Florida's bringing 7 right here. We're bringing 7, and we're going to play cover 0 behind it. There is no safety. Here's your safety. He's going to be spying the running back and man, not spying him, but he's assigned to him and man. Again, no safety on this play. Let's roll it. Here comes your safety blitz. You're bringing everybody here. You're playing cover 0, no safety, straight man-to-man. You get a hand in the face right here with Nunnery. You get a blitz coming from Bryce Thornton right there. That is a very tough throw for anyone to make with that much traffic there. There's Jason Marshall, and that is incomplete. Now you're going to see how often Florida does not go back to that kind of look, but on 3rd down and 9, that is a really, really good call by Florida's defense, by Coach Ham. An excellent execution on that play. The flag, of course, not against Florida, holding against LSU. So at this point in time, with 2 minutes left in the game, Florida is going to get the ball now. They're also going to get the ball to start the second half. So a pretty good half of defense by the Gators, minus really the one huge mistake on the 85-yard zone read play. Look, offenses are going to move the ball and score on you. You just don't want to give them easy scores, which Florida, of course, did. But otherwise, a pretty good half of football here for Florida's defense on the road. Florida in this game, they're going to wind up going to halftime like this in this game at the half. 2nd and 10 now, second half. Florida coming out, getting a good stop on 1st down, trying to set the tone. Going to bring a 4th rusher here, just 4. We're going to drop one out here in Princely and bring one here with Jaden. Plays zone behind it. Florida's going to bottle up what LSU wants. There is nothing here, and Florida's going to get unlucky. Jaden Hill aggressively comes in, wham, set the running back up, and unfortunately just gets a bad step and falls. Now, why is this unfortunate? You saw him run with Jaden Daniels earlier. If he doesn't fall and turn his back right here, he certainly does not go this way. What we saw earlier, which you do not want to do versus a running quarterback, is be behind him where he sees this kind of escape lane. Jaden Hill, I can assure you, would not have allowed himself to have taken this kind of route that he took had he not fallen down and then finds himself already turning this way and he continues on pursuit. Right? Again, Jaden Daniels is punishing here, and here's Scooby Williams, who had just finished doing a really good job rerouting right here. Look at this reroute. I mean, that is awesome. He sends him all the way into the backfield. Like, so far, check, 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 check. Everything looks good. The only problem here is Sapp, 2 in 1 lane. Not what you want, right? Not versus Jaden Daniels. A lot of other quarterbacks, you can get away with that versus Jaden Daniels. You do not want 2 in 1 lane. We're in trouble. But at this point in time, we actually recover pretty well. Get a good shove off here. Now we're okay. On this side of the field, we're largely going to be okay. Not going to be okay here unless you can get your linebacker to make a play. And again, we can't state this enough. Florida's inability to have their linebackers make plays in moments like these is killing them. Here's Scooby overstepping. He's already rerouted his guy, right? Already rerouted. Chill. If he wants to come through here, chill for a second. Don't overrun this. You can kind of shadow step this. Overruns. There's a big arm swing. Again, you don't want to play off balance like this as a linebacker. We talked about this earlier. You don't want your arms flailing everywhere. You need to be with your feet underneath you so you can change direction quickly. This is not a quick change. Now we're swimming the other way. There's just lots of swimming going on. Scooby's entering the Olympics in France this upcoming 2024 for the freestyle. It's not what you want when you're chasing down Jaden Daniels. And here comes Jaden Hill, who is quick, right? Look, he's giving Jaden Daniels problems. He feels Jaden Hill right on him. And if Scooby had any kind of angle at all, we're tackling him right here, bringing up 3rd down and 8. And instead, we do not. Now we're off to the races. Scooby's not going to get there. He's not going to slow down Nunnery. Now Nunnery can't really get there. And we're walking out of bounds again after another massive pickup. Look, Jaden Daniels, very quick, very elusive, excellent vision in the pocket to escape. Those are all his attributes. When you play defense versus him, of course, you cannot help him. You cannot help him by offering him bigger windows. 2nd and 7, again, third quarter. LSU making a small adjustment here at halftime, which you're going to see on display. They had sent the running backs in before, but they knew, of course, that Florida was often flexing a linebacker to spy the quarterback if the running back stays in to block. So oftentimes, if you don't feel like the quarterback's a threat and the running back stays in max protect, you just go get him. You just full send it, get in there and get the quarterback. You're not worried about him running. On a quarterback who's running, Florida's flexing this, which I think is an excellent way to use this personally. I think it's very good. I think it's not rocket science. It's not super difficult for your linebacker to pull this off, but it's going to prove that way for Florida. Obviously, it is difficult for your defensive line to keep Jaden Daniels bottled up within it. That's hard anyway. You're 4 versus 5, any crease he has here. Florida, as you can see, is playing man defense. They played too much man, in my opinion, in this game because you need to have eyes on Jaden Daniels. Yes, he tears up zones as well, like we talked about. But again, in this case, for Florida, perfectly reasonable to play this way, right? I think you want to mix in these kind of looks just like this. And if you're Scooby, you need to be watching the running back. That's your first job, is watch the running back. Make sure he's not going out. Then if he doesn't, then you are waiting and you are spying Jaden Daniels. But your first job is the running back. Your first job is not Jaden Daniels, especially when he drops back to pass and he basically just stops looking at the running back at all. Notice now he's in full spy mode. He is not looking at the running back. Now we engage him with a block, which is a great job by LSU. Take him out of this little window right here. And Jaden Daniels says, easy money. So nobody's open downfield. Florida, with an excellent job covering downfield, is going to give up a huge play because Scooby does the wrong thing. Again, Florida's linebacker play just leaving so much to be desired. Basic job there, watch the running back. Step 1, do your job, watch the running back. If the running back stays in, you spy Jaden Daniels. If the running back goes out, you cover the running back. What is job 1? Cover the running back. Not done here. 2nd and goal now from the 5. Florida's going to get something wrong here with the exchange. Again, every week I say this. I can't tell you exactly what the play is because I don't know what the play call is. I can only show you what players are doing and make guesses. The freshman Jordan Castell is going to come around here, and he is only playing the quarterback, which leads me to believe that he believes that he has someone else filling this C gap. This is not going to be who's filling the C gap, by the way. He's man up on Neighbors. In this case, probably Nunnery, who he thinks is going to be getting outside to fill the C gap. It's an aggressive way to play a zone read. Instead, that does not happen. It's right on hike. We get turned away. Kelby Collins gets turned away to the inside. Nunnery gets buried. Optimal look for LSU. And here you see Castell is not taking the typical line he would take. If he was just the edge defender, he'd be trying to step in here, which is why they are actually running Neighbors in that lane. They're saying, if you're the unblocked man, we're going to run you right in this lane. So if you do step into the proper spot, I'm in your way. And then I still have my read right here. But Castell just goes outside of it, is not caring about the running back at all. Notice how he stays on Daniels right there. And then we got a touchdown. So again, is that just on Castell? Could be. I don't know. Is someone else supposed to be flowing in there? Could be. I can't tell you. I can certainly tell you, though, the play as designed by Florida was definitely not that, right? Definitely not that. If you play this, someone's got to get in here. Has to happen. You can never have this without that. So something is wrong. Obviously, not a great look this far into the season is still be unable to execute these sort of concepts. Again, this is a very sound concept. It's a very good way to try to stop zone read teams by not just allowing them to read a guy. Hey, it's my read guy. I know it's him. I know he's going to sit here. I know he's the guy. I'm going to strain this out and read him. He can't be right. It's 2-on-1. You try to dictate to the offense by creating pressure on them and forcing a decision into a funnel. But when your funnel is broken and no one is there, it leads to 6. Somehow, despite what we're seeing on film here in certain places from Florida, Florida has a lead. LSU giving them a gift in the form of a dropped kickoff return. Thank you, LSU. Now, Florida in business. The defense has had moments. They've had flashes. They've been there. At this point, they probably still feel like, hey, let's clean a few things up here and we're going to get some stops. That's not inaccurate based upon what we're seeing on film. And you're going to see another example here of a simple mistake that costs Florida. Right away, running back goes out. It's going to change how Florida wants to defend this. Scooby's giving the signals. He kind of loses himself in all the excitement of all the signals he's giving. And as he turns back around, recognizes, oh, wait, I need to do my job, which is to be in this window, right? His job, as evidenced by his movement, is to get in this window. Again, Florida's signaling needs to be so much faster. This is a pretty basic surface to deal with. You're going with a 2x2 surface here, and then you're going to move the running back over into an empty set with a 3x2. And you know how you want to handle that. You know if a team wants to go like this, and they're going to run, well, you're going to have a 3x2 bunch here. You know how you want to handle this bunch. It should be a very quick signal. You make the signal as a linebacker, signal right now, and play your position. Don't turn all the way around. Don't look at everyone. Play your position. Where it's a lot of looking, a lot of communication. Snaps there. We're late into the window where we should have been, and now, okay, fine, it's going to be 5 yards. You know what? It's a bummer. Could have been a much better play. We actually have this bottled up completely. We have the right idea on this play. We don't execute it well. Let's make a tackle with a not freshman here in Jalen Kimber. It's a 4-yard gain, no problem. Whiff, up the field we go, and a first down becomes a first down. First down and 10 now for LSU. You know you have a good play call on when you waste 2 defenders, which LSU does. Florida's not going to do anything with the linebackers here. They're not coming in to bring pressure. They're not guarding anyone. Florida's playing man behind them, and they're not stopping anything over their heads. However, Florida does play great defense here. Kimber matched up man-to-man. This is excellent defense. He's blanketing him up the sideline. There's no window there for that to be caught. Nice job there by Kimber on first down. And again, Florida has flashes of this kind of stuff. It's why these sort of techniques and these tactics Florida uses, again, they can be elite. They are ceiling-level strategies. However, you have to execute them. We're going to see Florida fail to do that, especially as we move into the fourth quarter. But for right now on first down and 10, a stop for Florida as they're up 4 on the road. Second and 10, very nice comeback play here from LSU. They've seen that Kimber, even in press, is really working hard to stop any vertical routes. Let's hit him with a back shoulder throw right here. If well executed, essentially indefensible. The hardest thing really for a corner to stop in man-to-man like this. And here we go. Release to the outside. Kimber thinks, yep, I've seen this. You're taking me vertical. I'm going to open up and stay on top. Notice how he's separated by a yard or two. He's really staying on top of this route, which leads Jaden Daniels to know if he's that far off, and this is too much separation in man, I can put the ball safely to the back shoulder, which he does right there. There's Kimber swimming again. Take the swim move right here. He's swimming with the arm. Freestyle. Olympics, France coming to a swim pool near you, and then that's a first down. So again, easy play here. Second down and 10 becomes a first down to Neighbors. Obviously an excellent receiver. It's really hard to play man-to-man on him. Florida has some wins, some losses, and there's a loss on that one. All right, first and 10 for LSU. The adjustment they, of course, have made coming out of halftime is to have their running backs running routes now, and they're really hiding them. Check out this one right here. We're going to bring him way out here and then bring him into a route pattern. Scooby now is going to do his job and cover the receiver. Not going to do a great job. We'll talk about that in a second. In the meantime, Florida is sending a freshman, a redshirt freshman, and a redshirt freshman. 4 essential freshmen at the quarterback on the road against LSU, one of the best offenses in college football. I don't know how many coordinators are having to do that, but Florida's doing it. They have to do it. They can't always play veterans. They don't have enough. So this is a tough hand for Florida to be dealt. Is it an excuse? I like to think it's just a fact. I don't think any team wants to play with guys this young. It certainly, I think, absolves coordinators of some plays when the play call itself can be just fine. The execution is not there, especially when they're younger guys. So the problem here is if 2 become 1, it's not good. You want this kind of spacing here where you can shed a block and make a play. If your line's down here, you're being doubled, right? That's really tough. You're being doubled, you're cast aside. Does a nice job here shoving and separating. Shove and separate here from Banks. And he almost gets a hand on him. However, the real problem now with this is Scooby. Watch Jaden Daniels. Let's take a look at Jaden Daniels right here. Pump fake. He's not throwing this ball. He can. He's actually wide open, right? He could deliver this ball on first and 10, but they being LSU, have bigger plans in mind, which is the QB run. This was the play design the whole way. Get a double here, get a kick out, wall this off, right up the gut here. Let's attack Scooby and see if his eye discipline is good enough. Let's see if it is. Pump fake right there, and Scooby now is engaging. No ball is thrown. Scooby has no idea where the ball is or if it's thrown. He's still staring at the guy he's chasing. And now we're still covering him, and now we're contacting him, and we don't know what the heck is happening. No ball's thrown, and now we're basically on the ground over here, except Jaden Daniels is coming out right here, and he is flanked by 2 linemen. So if Scooby has better eye control, sees the pump fake happens, right? He's able to then look back at the quarterback while also keeping in his periphery the running back. We're making a play down here. We're coming right here. We're engaging this right in the hole, and this is going to be a no-gainer. Instead, we're on the ground over here. Now we're off to the races. Kelby Collins, who's got tremendous burst right here, actually gets a hand on Jaden Daniels. It touches him right there. And in comes another hero for Florida in the form of a safety, this time Miguel Mitchell. And he is also going to be entering the Olympics in 2024 for swimming. Here he comes, swimming, and maybe grabs his towel right here. A little nice stroke there. And then we're out of the race. We're cruising along. No problem. We're jogging now. There comes Jason Marshall. Nope. There's Castell. Nope. There's Jaden Hill. Nope. And we're looking back at everyone thinking it can't be. It can't be. It can't be this easy to outrun all of you on a designed quarterback run through the A-gap. But it was. And this kind of stuff is obviously killer for a defense. Killer for a defense. The execution continues to harm Florida. At this point, why I mentioned earlier, perhaps they're best off just punting on tactics that actually do make sense and do allow for a high-level defense to function. A lot of these play designs are excellent. They can be excellent. Perhaps they just go to, again, quarters coverage, sit back, let teams drive all over you, get in the red zone, try to get a stop. Keep it all in front of you. Keep everyone's eyes in the backfield. Have them play static zones, right? Just regress it down to the base. Because right now what Florida's doing versus these opponents is just not working. And again, I like these tactics. Give me players that can execute, players with more seniority, with more awareness, more experience, with more upside. A lot of these tactics can work. That's what I keep saying. It's why I think there's a big difference between what we saw from Tony and Grantham and what we see under Coach Ham. Is a really good team using these tactics is going to have some really good days at the office. Florida's not having good days at the office, in large part because of their own self-inflicted wounds on plays where they're actually getting a lot right. 2nd and 2 now for LSU. Jason Marshall matched up here at the bottom of the screen. And man, notice his technique is outside leverage, which would be a little unusual given the positioning of the receiver, which would lead us to believe he has help in the form of the freshman safety Bryce Thornton here, which is exactly what Marshall expects. The only problem here is Marshall is going to get cooked too badly, although you do want to allow him to get an inside release here, and you are supposed to have inside help. You need to do something to slow this route down at least a little bit. He gets completely a free release. Jason Marshall gets nothing on him, is off balance, does not stay with him, and now he is toasted. Also, Thornton does not help matters right away. Opens up. Now look, he's playing center field here. If Jaden Daniels looks over here, he's got to go over top there. He's not just helping here. But again, given how Marshall's aligned, he's expecting to be able to get to this side. He's actually split a little bit closer to this side to help this exact scenario out. And right now, when he opens up his eyes, he needs to start gaining depth. Got to gain depth. He doesn't. Instead, he's coming flat across. His job here is not to be coming flat across. It's to be on top of this route. He knows that. He is a true freshman. This is the problem. And now he's not on his horse. He's got a bad angle. And essentially, he's not playing on the field at all. Jason Marshall tries to catch up and does so right there in the red zone. So what happens here is when you're playing single high like this, good teams are going to stretch their receivers out to the boundary, out wide here, and they are going to know that they can still work you to the inside because they don't respect your safety getting over there to erase this play. In fact, the lack of respect is so evident that Jaden Daniels doesn't even look him off. Doesn't even look him off. He just looks right at him and says, oh yeah, he's barely moving. I'm good, right? That's not ideal quarterbacking. If I'm Jaden Daniels here, you do actually want to look this off for a second. You know you like this matchup. You want to look this off. You want to get him taking at least a step or two here. He doesn't care. Puts it up right there. Huge gain. Florida down 31-28. This is a huge 3rd down and 6 in the red zone. Hold them to a field goal. Keep yourself in the game. Nunnery right here is going to be responsible for the running back right here. And this is a really nice play design by LSU. He's in pass pro. Take a look. I'm in pass pro. I'm in pass pro. I'm in pass pro. I'm in pass pro. No, I'm not. I'm going out. Super delayed. Sneaks out right at the end. And then he's going to wind up getting himself a touchdown. Now, this is a really, really nice design by LSU. He is initially here in pass protection. If Florida does blitz, if they bring a blitz, he's going to stay home. He's going to block this up. And they're going to allow them to have this route here right? You bring this blitzer here. Again, it's a safety for Florida. LSU knows Florida might do this. If they do, then they're bringing Neighbors right underneath here, and Jaden Daniels sticks this. Instead, with no blitz, he says, okay, now I know I'm going to be the last release because they've probably covered our routes, right? We probably don't have this, which they do not. And Jaden Daniels keeps the play alive. Tons of time. Super clean pocket right here. Touchdown. So that one's on a good play design by LSU, but more importantly, excellent blocking by LSU and failed penetration from Florida. Then with Nunnery voiding his job, right? Voiding his job there. Of course, if Nunnery does do his job, he's outside here, and we still are not getting anywhere near the quarterback at this point in time, which is obviously a problem, right? You got to get better penetration here. You got to get more pressure. So although Florida covers up well, they don't get this done, and they don't get this done. And that leads to 6 for LSU and really winds up putting the game out of reach for Florida, despite the fact there's an entire quarter left to play, as it would turn out. All right, 2nd and 6 for LSU. Florida's still in this game, but LSU is going to play a little game of let's call it confuse the freshman. Here comes Bryce Thornton. Look, he's pointing. A lot of pointing right here. Pointing. Okay, I know I got this guy. Okay, cool. I'm matched up here. Yep, we're talking. We're good. We're communicating. Cool. Okay, again. Yeah, man, I got this guy, right? That's me. Okay, cool. That's me. I'm cool. I got that. Okay, I got that guy. Yep, everyone knows you got that guy. Let's do it. You're getting a stemmed in corner route here. I love this route. One of my favorite routes in football for a variety of reasons, but one main reason is because of the inside release and stem. Bryce off your screen is going to move this way and get completely turned around. He loses all eye control of LSU's receiver, and that's why he is so wide open. He literally does a 360 out here. He loses that stemmed corner route, thinking it's probably coming up vertical or even coming inside. Again, it's tough. Like, welcome to the big leagues, right? You're a freshman. Ideally, you don't want to play freshman at all, really, on defense. But we're doing it in droves, and we're taking an L right here, and now we're in trouble because, yeah, look who he's covering man-to-man. Good work there, LSU, that you put Florida in a scenario where you have a freshman safety covering maybe the best receiver outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State. That is not good scheming by Florida. That's not a good pre-snap situation by Florida. That junk ain't going to fly. Doesn't fly here, and then to make matters worse, Bryce is here. He's in a box. He's got to make a tackle. And nope, I got a baby, says Neighbors. No problem. I'm out of there. And now again, here comes the defensive lineman 35 yards down the field, and Princely trying to make a tackle, actually grabbing Neighbors and slowing him down to make the tackle eventually way down the field. It's a defensive lineman. These are bad looks. These are ugly looks for Florida. Of course, Neighbors is fired up. LSU finding good ways to get matchups here. And then this is what your play looks like in real time. Right here. They get the matchup they want. Neighbors like, gotta be kidding me. Let me stem that route in. Corner route. Easiest throw you can ever imagine. Let's make a tackle here. Limit the damage. Nope, not going to happen. D-lineman down the field. Tackle then made by Castell. They push him out of bounds. And, yeah, not great. When things are not going well for Florida's defense, they are not going well, and the wheels are going to come right off the bus. I want you to focus on all of the signaling that is going to go on here. Just go ahead and watch the screen. Look at all the players signaling to each other. Lots of signaling, perhaps some confusion. Hey, man, what's up? What am I doing? What's happening? Okay, I'm not sure. All right, simulated pressure. Now LSU changes. Hey, I'm really still not comfortable with what I'm doing. Let's look at the sideline. Look to the sideline. What are we doing here? Okay, more signaling over here. Right, we got more signaling. Keep an eye there. Okay, hand out. I mean, what? How about hand out? What's happening? Okay, I'm not sure. Oh, the ball snapped. Everyone's looking over here. What the heck is going on? No one knows. They're in a set that Florida runs, by the way, all the time on their own offense. This is something we see Florida run all the time. You would think the defense has seen it a million times, and they would know how they want to defend it. Apparently not, because everyone's going to be open on this play. Kimber's still looking at the sideline. The ball is snapped. He's not ready. He gets blown right by. Freshman Bryce Thornton is going to be down low robbing an inside route, which is by design. He's not actually on top on the back of this one. He's taking away any inside breaking route right here because Florida's going to bring pressure right there. They don't want to allow a slant route to be there, so they're taking that away the safety. And then Kimber, because he's not ready, gets absolutely torched on the outside. But to make matters even worse, we also get wide open here in a post route. So, you can take your pick here if you're Jaden Daniels. You have lots of wonderful options to score a touchdown with. He's going to choose this one right here because that's also really easy. It's a little late. He decides a little late. Again, he actually has him. You can't tell this right now. It looks like he's covered, but he was wide open in the middle part of the route. And now he's got this one because he's down low playing the inside part. There's Kimber, wasn't ready, and he's torched over the top. And why not fair catch a ball in the end zone? And you can still see that Kimber is wondering what the heck is going on. What is happening? Not a great look. What's happening is LSU is clapping Florida and putting up a huge number on them. The defense is not looking good in the second half. They're going to wind up allowing 5 straight touchdowns to end this football game, and that is not something to celebrate. As the wheels are now really fully off the bus, Florida down 10, we're going to get a simple zone read here, a little motion, zone read, and Florida's going to get 3 guys on the wrong side of the ball. There's Scooby, and now we're going to get Castell and Princely covering the motioned receiver right there. So that's 2 where 1 should be. Again, we already know that's not good. Now we need Scooby to get over here and make a hero play, despite the fact there's a lead blocker and a running back. That's not going to be good. And we're off to the races for Jaden Hill. There he goes, taking candy from a baby. Tackle there by a safety, Miguel Mitchell. We'll take that. Nice to have the young fella contributing there with a tackle after a first down. Again, from Jaden Daniels, who was thinking football cannot be this easy. How about these numbers if you're Jaden Daniels? Pretty good. Must be playing NCAA football. This is not a real football game, which you're looking at. This is like Xbox. No, it's real. It's really happening. Those are the numbers that he has. Pretty great day again at the office. And this is a really bad look right here for Florida's defense. Things, again, just really deteriorating. Florida has done an actually pretty decent job since the Kentucky game of stopping teams running counters. And you're going to see right now, motion the tight end. We're going to run a tackle guard counter. Here it comes. And Florida, again, generally has done a good job of this. What we need to do is we need to strike this here, blow this up, get this slow-moving freight train stuck in the backfield. Do not allow them to dictate. Let's watch Princely, a guy who I love and puts awesome stuff on film. He is going to get dictated to right there. That is being dictated to. That is not what you want. And because of that, he's not going to get outside. So one more time, what do we have to do here, right? We need to get in the backfield and strike this and trap this stuff, squeeze this stuff, keep it in here. Then by doing so, you'd like to have your linebacker flow over here. If he does, try to spill it to the outside. You do not want to get your head taken off like this. Well, bam. Now you could say that's targeting. That looks like crowning them to the face to me. I would say so. To me, that right there, what do you call that? Whoop. So it's frustrating as it is for Princely. Princely's still not in a good position here to engage this. But also that is a penalty. Either way, Princely tries to make up for it. We're off to the races down the sideline. Jaden Hill going low, as he typically does, actually making a tackle. Nice work, Jaden. And that winds up being a first down. Everybody wants to get in on the action now for LSU, and can you blame them? Now we're just showing off as a play caller. We're going to have a lot of fun here. We're going to toss this to our wide receiver. Going to get a lead block from a running back. Let's just let everything happen here. Florida, man-to-man. So here comes Kimber, man-to-man. Needs to match his sweep across the formation. And now we're flowing to the football. We want to strike this block and knock it out, slow it down, get in there. Wingo, who's bigger than the running back, is going to absolutely get cracked. This is a super impressive block, by the way. Wingo, when he's on film coming downhill, is strong. He's probably Florida's best linebacker at actually breaking through when he's in the game and coming downhill and doing this. He's a hard hitter in this regard, and he gets all that he bargained for. Good night. Go to sleep. We're done. Right? Now, look, Wingo is a solid player. This happens to any good player at any given time. If your momentum gets off balance a little bit, you're in trouble. But this is LSU feeling themselves. They're physical right now. Bam, at the point of attack, he's gone. Kimber's too slow to get all the way across the field here. He's got to be the guy to make this tackle. You're in man-to-man. You've got to match this guy. You've got to get there. And he touches him with the classic push him into the end zone play. Ooh, man. I mean, this is ugly, right? This is just really not good stuff. And for Florida, you've had 3 straight very bad defensive years with 3 different coordinators. This team does have some silver linings, as we've seen in the form of individual players. It does have some tactical plays where things look good. But as you're seeing on film now, things have really started to come apart here towards the end of this game. The fans, of course, in LSU have already left, right? It's a little bit out of hand. It's at the end. They're already feeling like, hey, this is great. We've taken care of Florida again. But the football team, the defense, I think in general, which had played hard the entire game on this particular drive here, started to let things get a little lax. And with that, we mercifully come to the end of this film review. Look, I'm not here to be able to say what the solutions are. We talk each week about the film never lies. Well, the film doesn't lie. In my opinion, Florida's defense a lot of the time has a great tactic on, and the execution is not there. Sometimes the tactic isn't right. Strategically in this particular game, I did not like how I thought Coach Ham went more with things that we knew LSU had been very good going against, man-to-man defense, zone, and man of any kind that really wasn't cover two-man, which even that's kind of a Hail Mary, right? It's a small sample size for that, but I think you got to go with that. Pressure-wise, Florida you saw them bring 7, and you never saw them do it again. Very curious to me there. They were successful with that early. I think that would be something for future teams that play LSU to do, to incorporate. If you're going to bring pressure, bring it all. Bring all of it, right? I think that's the best way probably to play this LSU team. And then, hey, if that's not working, have an emergency plan. Let's keep everything in front of us. Let's not let them get these huge plays. Let's have our eyes all in the backfield and do all we can to slow this team down. And the reality is you may not even slow them down then. It's really important to give this LSU team a lot of credit. They have been shredding just about everyone. They were shredding Alabama until Daniels had a concussion. And then all he did the next week was go have a career game and make college football history at the expense of Florida. So things are not pretty now. Some of you may feel, of course, it's time for Coach Ham already to go. Others of you may feel like, hey, things could be okay when guys get older. The reality is it's a wait-and-see mode. I still think a lot of what Coach Ham does and puts on film technique-wise and skill-wise and tactics-wise is solid and could win at the highest level. But however, for this Florida defense right now, the pieces are just not coming together. They're not working. Things are not coming together with 11 working as one, and it is costing Florida dearly. And of course, with 2 games remaining on the schedule, desperate to get a win, we'll see if Florida's able to engineer any kind of change on defense to get more production out of this unit. Of course, the film would tell us at this point in time that is looking more and more unlikely. As always, I'll be here each week to show you what happens on film, try to explain why it went down that way, and then allow for you to make your own decisions based upon what you think Florida's football team looks like and the direction that it is going in. I hope you enjoyed this content. I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review, and I'll be back with you next week where we break down Florida's road game against Missouri.